Hey gang, it's Brian from FX Billiards. Today we're going to talk about different skill levels and how you can move up in skill levels. As a baseline, we're going to use the APA as a baseline, but all of these things that we're going to talk about apply to other leagues. Most of you can make the conversion from APA to your own league's ranking system, but today we're going to talk about 4s, 5s, and 6s, and 8-ball in the APA. A warning, I am going to give you some generalizations. You do not need to tell me, hey, I'm a 4 and I can do this and I can do that, or he's a 6 and he doesn't do this and doesn't do that. These are generalizations that I'm going to give you based on the 150 or so students that I've had over the last 3 years that have played in the APA and my observation of APA players of different levels. So that's our disclaimer, and I'm sure this is going to help you move up regardless of what your rank is. What is the difference between an APA 4 and an APA 5, and how do you get there? My immediate observation of an APA 4 versus an APA 5, and keep in mind we're talking about 8-ball in all of these examples, is that the APA 5 has all of the basic shots in pool in their arsenal. They can shoot a draw shot. There's a bunch of 4s out there, a bunch of 4s that can't shoot a decent draw shot, a decent follow shot. They've also started to use some English, not just for making a shot, but for getting position. That is the number one thing that separates 4s from 5s, the ability to shoot a solid stop shot, draw shot, follow shot, and to have a general idea of where the cue ball is going. Which brings me to the second point. The general difference between a 4 and 5 when it comes to position play is the 4 has already started to play position. They're not a 3 where they just want to put balls in the pocket, or a 2 where they're just happy to make a ball. What you're doing as a 4 is probably playing some type of position. That position play, though, tends to be limited. They know to play position from this ball to try to get on that ball with whatever skills they might have available to them, but they do start playing position. The problem is the position play is very myopic, and what this means is they're very nearsighted as far as what their position play is. So let's look at an example of APA 4 versus APA 5 and how you can prevent this from happening to you if you're that 4. APA 5 sees this table differently than the APA 4. If you're that APA 4, keep in mind, you need to be 3 balls ahead, not on the next ball. When you learn to be 3 balls ahead, you're automatically going to move up. So if you're a 4, and we understand that you don't have a 3-foot draw shot that needs to land in a zone that's 4 feet away, why are you trying to do it in a match? This falls in the category of knowing what your capabilities are. If we know you're not going to draw back and land in this zone, stop trying to do it in the heat of battle, okay? You guys have heard me say it in videos all the time. If you couldn't dunk a basketball on Tuesday, it is a very, very good chance that you can't dunk a basketball on Wednesday. So stop trying to do shots that aren't in your repertoire. Until you have them there, keep them out of your matches. Let's look at some of the characteristics of the 6 versus the 5. The 6 is probably at the pool table almost the same amount of hours as the 5 is. What's the difference? The 6 can get through this drill. And not only can he get through it, when he is out of line with this shot, he knows he can send this cue ball around the table, come over here and get perfect for this 1 ball. Now, why does he know that? He knows it because he is practicing versus playing. It's very difficult to get from 4 to 5 if you're not putting in deliberate practice time, which means you don't usually get from 4 to 5 just playing all the time. Most 5s, they're putting in some practice time. Every 6, whether he tells you or not, he's putting in practice time, unless he's, one of those bar box sixes that is playing on a 7-foot table every day and is in the APA. He's a really good shot maker, but plays bad position, so he kind of moves up in the ranks. But for the most part, your six has put in some practice time. The other characteristic that the six has that usually the fives and fours don't have is some kind of organized instruction. Someone is taking them by the hand. I'm not talking about Joe Schmo, your teammate, that tells you, oh, you got to get lower on the shot. You shoot too fast. You shoot too slow. You don't follow through. No, I'm talking about people who are qualified to give you instruction. Most sixes have had someone, whether it's a family member or some legitimate outside professional coaching, to get to that point. That is one of the main characteristics, is someone has broken down their game and said, you need to do this, this, and this. You need to improve on this, this, and this. And they've gone out and done it. The next characteristic of the six versus the five, when we're talking about 8-ball, is they are very often not 3 balls ahead, but 4 or 5 balls ahead, and they're starting to play the rack in reverse. What this means, guys, is when you play an 8-ball rack, you need to know at the beginning of the rack what your key ball is. Your key ball is the ball you're going to be shooting before the 8. It is the last shot you're going to take before the 8, because that is such an important ball. That's why it's the key ball, right? It is going to put you on the 8. A bunch of fives. A bunch of fives. I hate to pick on you guys, and that's not what I'm doing, but I will tell you that a bunch of fives lose a lot of games, especially to sevens, because the 5 is very likely to run 4 or 5 balls, but not as likely to run 7 or 8 balls. So I hear it every week. I ran 4 or 5 balls, and then the guy I was playing, Joe 7, ran out. Yes, of course he did. I know sevens who say, give me every 5 in the league. I will play every 5 in the league for the money. Let's go. Because fives are very likely to run 5 or 6 balls. Sevens are 1 and 2 inning players. Fives are 3 and 4 inning players. You do the math. If a 3 or 4 inning player is playing a 2 inning player, the 3 or 4 inning player is a major dog, and the handicap that the 7 is giving up to the 5 is not wide enough to compensate for the fact that the 7 is more likely to run out that many more times. He recognizes connected balls. Key ball play is one of the most important factors that separate 7s from 5s, is knowing this ball is connected to this ball. This one is the only one I have to shoot in any special order. So if I leave that on the table, I'm going to be out. A lot of you are thinking, well, if I pick out a key ball, then during the game it's going to change. Yes, it might. Now, it depends on who you're playing. The people I play aren't going to change the table around. They're going to run out, or they're going to run a few balls and miss and probably not disturb the table. If you're playing lower ranked players and bangers, they're changing the table around. But nevertheless, you should know what you're going to be planning to shoot before you shoot the 8-ball. If you don't have a plan early in the rack, and then as the rack goes on, your chances of running out are very slim, and that might be why you're still a 5 and not a 6. Something as simple as good key ball play. Not all of these things apply to all 4s, all 5s, and all 6s, but let me put it in a nutshell. Your 4s are playing position, starting to play position sometimes. Going from, I know I need to play that ball with follow so I can get on that ball. Your 5s are more likely to be playing 3-ball position and playing more safeties. So they're not just playing that ball, that one. They know that I need to get on that one so that I can get on this one. So they're probably 3 balls ahead right now. And they have a more legitimate practice time than the 4s do. Your 6s are not just playing 3 balls ahead. They know to keep moving so that they're always playing 3 balls ahead, and they probably have a plan for how they're going to get to the 8-ball. Chances are, unless they're, like I said, the bar box hero, which they are out there, that just happen to be good shot makers and they manage to run racks because there's no bad shots, no long shots, no difficult shots in their world. Outside of that, they probably have a plan that gets them to the 8-ball. You want to move up as a 4, plan out your route another ball ahead than what you're already doing. You're a 5, you want to be a 6, you're probably going to need some instruction, some hands-on, somebody telling you, whether it's over a Zoom call or in person or whatever, some qualified person, not just the best guy in town. The best guy in town here might not be a good teacher. Okay, he might just be the best guy in town. All of you who have been watching pros on YouTube can name at least one pro you would never want to take instruction from. Okay? Not naming any names, but all of you know at least one pro that you're like, yeah, he's great, but I don't want him instructing me. Now, there's a lot of people that you're asking for advice from that are going to be very bad teachers. Okay? So be careful. But you want to go from 5 to 6, get some professional, legitimate instruction to get there, and get yourself on larger tables. You cannot put in all your time on bar boxes and become an elite player. You can become an elite bar box player, but you're not going to become an elite overall pool player. And the 6s, you already know how to get to 7. You're already on your way. The difference between you and the 7 is probably about 2,000 hours of practice. So get it in and you'll move up anyway.
Hey there, ready to elevate your pool game? Join us for exclusive in-person lessons, master classes, and personalized Zoom sessions. This is your chance to experience the magic with tailored coaching from Bryan. So why wait? Sharpen your fundamentals, master strategic play, and boost your mental game. Visit fxbilliards.com now to learn more and take the next step in your pool journey. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit like, leave a comment, and subscribe to FX Billiards for more tips and tricks.